This is for entry 002.1. We're still on Mama Jean. I'm messing with the volumes. I suck. I'm using my phone. I hope this is not too loud. I'm really not doing these again. So if you have to change the volume, I'm literally writing this stuff down. Also, I guess I should have said too, is if, because I am not speeding any of this up, I'm actively writing it down and, trying to show like how it works for future me, especially, and anyone else who might want to know. It's a good time to go get, to actually do pause the video and go get something and write these things down. That way you can make them as well. And Norma or Mama Jean, she is not, well, she's not that flashy. I do like her a whole lot. She's a good, like, reference. She does several different systems. And, so if I'm having a hard time fitting something into a button, I can think of Mama Jean, who only has one button, and she has all these on exit command areas as well. But she has one button, and the reason why I was able to put all that stuff in the one button is because I used tag add initiator first. And so this is just kind of like my thought process and how I kind of put everything together. So where we are starting now is we did all this button. We're going to start on the first on exit command area. So here we go. You see at the bottom of this command, it says button mode, on enter, and on exit. You want to do this on exit? Oh, this is much better. Okay. So I'm going to write all this down and talk about it while I write it down. We're going to tell Raw at A, who has the tag of MJ, the scores equals 2, raw text, text, it's just water. Now, you might not want to do any of this. You might just want her to give you the buffs, and you might not want to do the RNG for 2 to 4 at the beginning. You could just do an RNG of 1, 6. Like that's all you could literally do the RNG for 1 and then a space 6. And you could just do, any kind of questions or whatever. This is very customizable, but I am actually writing down everything that I did just in case. All right, I wrote down the first 2 tell raws. Tell raw at A and tag equals MJ, scores equals RNG equals 2. Raw text, it's just water. And then I wrote down tell raw at a MJ, tag MJ, scores RNG equals 3. Raw text. You look like a generous person. Dot. Oh, I wrote water is free. Whatever. The water's free. The guilt isn't. Okay, 2 more. Tell raw at a tag equals MJ. Scores equals RNG 4. Raw text. They say tipping is optional, but isn't. Question mark. Squirrely bracket. Squirrely. Okay, and then at the end, we're going to remove MJ. So I'm going to go over the logic of this. Everyone at the beginning, when they pressed the button for Mama Jean, got tagged at initiator MJ, the person who actually did it, right? That's the tag that we added. And when they did that first RNG in the button, they did not roll a 1, they rolled a 2, 3, or 4. And within that button, that command area for the hide button, we were able to give at the player who has the tag MJ, who had the scores of RNG2, we were able to give them, for example, a mundane potion, which was potion 1, space 1. And so on exit, whoever had that has the tag of MJ, has the score of RNG equals 2. Now we're going to tell them something, and it's going to feel like to the player, it's almost instantaneously. You hear the sounds of the water going into your inventory, and you see all of a sudden in your chat, you see it's just water. But it's not water. It was actually mundane potion. So use the system will tell you that it's giving you were given a mundane potion, and you hear the sound because it goes into your inventory, and it's right underneath the you've been given mundane potion. You're now going to have this tell raw that says it's just water. So for everyone who got a 2, a 3, or 4, that's what I'm doing, is I am not only giving them like their potion, I am telling them something as well. So it's like it's an interaction. And then at the end, I can just remove MJ from anyone who has the RNG equals 2 to 4. And they also have to have the tag MJ. And I'm just going to remove that. And now at this point, at the end of this area on exit, we have now basically retired the the tag of MJ, because everyone who had MJ now no longer has MJ. We gave it to them at the beginning, and now it's all been removed, because as soon as we gave the Mama Jean tag to all the players that got the RNG of 1 originally, we removed the tag MJ as well. So it's just kind of like closing up the system. All right. This is exciting. I am so happy. So I had this on exit area has 1, 2, 3, 4 commands, and I have all 4 written down. Perfect. All right, let's move on, and we will do, I think we can just do the next one. That would be great. So we did the first on exit. That's this one. And this is kind of like RNG. I'm actually going to kind of title that in my notebook like RNG 2 to 4. Just put that up at the top. Okay, so the next on exit command. Okay, it's a little bit longer, but it's all tell raws. Now, how this RNG works is Mama Jean is going to give the clue or whatever to the player. Okay. Now the player gets to have agency, not to click through Mama Jean to press the answer, right? The player gets to go press one of those buttons, and that's how it's going to clean up the whole system. That's why we have them. They either choose honey, they choose carrots, or they choose sugar. And when they click it, no matter which button, the next button, when they get this tag, they get this RNG, the next button that's pressed, it does not care. It does not care who pressed the button, right? Which is kind of cool. Okay, which is kind of cool because say I want to go to a mine and I want to go mining and I got this RNG. Like I'm building this specifically that if players are clever, they may say, "Oh my gosh, I got the RNG for speed." And now the only thing is it this the buttons they target at A, whoever has Mama Jean and what your RNG is. And so what whoever presses it, there could be if this is almost like an anti-spam measure, if everyone somehow gets the RNG for Mama Jean and you have three players doing it, the button that is pressed after they're all given their clues, the button that's pressed, it doesn't matter. It is going to count that as the answer for all people who have the Mama Jean tag. So, you can either get the good buff or you'll get, a still good buff. You either get speed 5 or get speed 2. Okay. So, but that's how we're going to clean this up. So all we have to do with the next two buttons is what we're going to do is we're going to tell Raw to the players that have the RNG. So if you read this, it says tell Raw at the players that have the Mama Jean tag, which means they got 1 for the first RNG, and their score was RNG 5 when we did it again. And so they get their own clue. And since there's 6 clues, I'm putting 3 of these tell Raws on on exit command areas. All right. So let me go ahead and get this next page set up. And because I didn't know how much I was going to need. But this is exciting. Now, at first, it seems like a lot of work, and it is. It is. It is work to do this. I'm not saying that it isn't, but it's gratifying because it just makes sense work. And you're able to have these little modules, and it kind of makes it easier. So I'm going to put as a little kind of title for this page in my notebook, Mama Jean's second on exit command area. And then I'm also going to say, I'm going to put in little brackets, Mama Jean. And I'm going to put RNG. And on this page, it's going to have 5 through 7. So, just so in the future, I can find it, which is awesome. All right, so now I'm going to start writing it down. You guys probably are already done writing it by now. But at A. Okay. I really tried to find the best things that would be like weird clues, but not overt clues. Like making it into a game, like just this. It was really weird. There's not a lot of stuff in Minecraft. I mean, there is a lot of stuff, but that would kind of make sense putting in water. I don't know that you could find jokes, puns, riddles about. This was the best I could do. So, I mean, they're pretty lame, but I don't know. They are what they are. I was trying to have, and it sounded very simple on the onset, like I just need two riddles, puns, jokes, something that reminds the players of carrots, or reminds or has the player pick carrot over honey and sugar, or pick honey over something that wasn't just overt as well, like it's made by bees. Everyone's gonna know it's honey. Like it. This to me is a lot of work, so it has to be something that's a little bit vaguer or more vague. But I understand there's only six, but if you watch the demo of this, you'll see that sometimes you don't get them at all. You're supposed to get a 25% chance, but that really is when you do it, a lot. Um, so you're not really seeing these all the time. And I hope, like, yes, everyone would end up remembering the six, but there should be a lot to do in Wellbridge. When this is all said and done with me putting all these entries in, there's a lot to do every day. You're not going to sit there and spam Mama Jean to see what her RNG is if almost every NPC you talk to has RNG, is telling you different things, doing different stuff. It's just going to become part of the world for you. So to understand the syntax, I don't know how, like, I don't know. It's hard for me to figure out some of this stuff, a lot of this stuff actually. But a lot of this is you're writing the same things over and over. So if you're using a computer, you can probably make shortcuts. For example, if you could just paste in Terra at a tag equals Mama Jean, scores equals RNG, and then just have to change the number, it's going to make, you know, doing this a lot less annoying. And I do realize I'm slow, so I apologize. At the same time, I need to get this done. I have no desire to do this, to be fair. I just do not want to have to do the logic again. Do not want to have to figure out. I just want to be able to say, okay, if I need to make something like this again, I can just open up this notebook and I can find it, and then I can just change. Like maybe I want an NPC that is going to do kind of the same system, but has different, doesn't do water, but maybe you answer a question, and like if I did a trivia night somewhere, like how cool would that be? To have an NPCs, and I would probably make more NPCs to do that, but you could have like trivia NPCs that ask you questions, and then it will use the same system, and the player just presses what answer they think it would be. Like that is awesome. Like that sounds fun. All right, and the last one. So some of you are probably like, just writing down the gist of these, like do this and then just put in whatever you want, like as a raw text or whatever. I am writing this all down exactly how it's in here because I'm daft. And if I just kind of do like the idea of the command, um, I will be trying to figure out exactly how to do it. It's just for me like reducing friction in the future, even if I absolutely detest doing what I'm doing now. I hate I hate typing raw text and I hate actually having to sit here and write raw text. But it's nice as a player to have an NPC say something to you. Like it's worth it. Just be easier if I could just like I don't know, dictate it would be awesome. They put that into Minecraft. Obviously I can talk for a long time, but having to actually do this over and over again feels like over and over again. Okay, but let's go. I'm on the last line, and I'm gonna read it, make sure it's right. All right. I hope to be in a better mood over this. This is because we're going to be on the end. So I am actually going to end this video, this entry right now. We will start again in 002.2. And I'm going to read over this. Everyone check one last time, make sure they got it right. We did a lot when you think about it, and there's not a whole lot left. So we can easily finish it with one more video and just, focus. Um, I'm really happy about this. Let me go ahead over this again. So, Tara at Tag Mama Jean, there's maybe figures. That is not child's movie. Did you see size of that ant? Terrifying. What garnish do you want? Honey carrot sugar. Choose. Next one. 14 down. On the Ferris tombstone skull, she looks at you, puts down the paper, stands up, garnish now good all day, honey carrot sugar. Perfect. And RNG 7. That looks good. Awesome. All right. So today, on this entry, I did the first on exit command area, and I documented the second on exit command area. All we have left is this, the third one, and we are going to do a few command blocks. And the great thing is it's only 8 command blocks because actually it's 6, well, no, 8, because out of all 12 of these, the last 2 rows for the 3 are exactly the same. So really, we just have to write down 8 commands, and we will be done with Mama Jean in this whole system. And hopefully, you will also be able to implement this or your version of this if you want to in your own worlds. All right, end of entry.